Sky Captain Sir Cedric Whittaker, Captain of Airship Isabella. What we do in the real world is we build props and costumes for the TV and movie industry as well as the general public at large. In our storyline, we are a pre-wreckage salvage expert crew dealing in pre-wreckage, i.e. pirate. We are a time-jumping, dimensional jumping pirate crew that basically does what we have to do to survive inside of this world. At the time, I was working on the fire department as full-time firefighter medic. My wife Amelia and I were part of the burner community, and we were big infrastructure in Flipside, which is a regional burn in Texas. And so a friend of mine had told me about this thing called Steampunk. And so I looked it up and squealed like a little girl because I thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen, being an old goth kid. And so we decided, I said I had a good idea, which I'm not allowed to say anymore. We built a 50-foot long, 20-foot across, 2-story pirate airship in our front yard. I DJ'd off the second booth. It took us 8 months to build. We dropped it the night before going out to Flipside, put it on a bunch of trailers and buses, and shipped it out to Flipside, put it back up, and threw this huge steampunk party at Flipside. So when we got done with that, it had been such a journey building this pirate airship that really it was like, why does this journey have to end? And so one of the big things with me was that as a medic, transporting older patients that were at the end of their lives and that sort of thing, you always see that what if in their eyes, that what if I decided to be a writer, what if I decided to be an artist, what if I decided to be in the media. And it became my personal mission to not only talk to teenagers, but to the 18s and up, that just because you're an adult doesn't mean you can't have a sense of imagination. That if you want to be an artist, you want to be a writer, you want to be whatever, who's stopping you? So that kind of became the battle cry, and we kind of just started doing this, and we were in the right place at the right time, and I've had the chance over the past 6 years to work with some of the most amazing artists on the face of the planet, talking to thousands of people across the country. So it was something that went from a hobby into where we could fund basically what we were doing through our artwork, and then continue to do what we wanted to. One, breaking into the TV movie industry, but also working with con kids. That was the big thing. Is most convention goers, most people, the mega nerds, are just looking for somebody to say, hey, you're not alone. Come with me. And so that was a big thing, especially for me, was that con kid, that one quintessential con kid you see who's sitting in the shadows, who doesn't have any friends, they're by themselves, they have social anxiety or whatever, and to be that person to reach that hand out, and when they're just they can't find a group to belong to, say, hey, come on, let me show you to your people. That's important. The guys I've got on my crew, we have a saying in the Isabella that we don't pick the crew, the ship picks the crew. And the verse has a way of putting people in the right place at the right time to be crew members. We have a very strenuous prospect ship to become a winged member of ASI for a couple reasons. It's one, there's a chemistry amongst this crew. We spend more time on the road, more time with each other. It's like being in a band. It's I know more about these cats behind me than I know about, and there's a lot of stuff I know that I really don't want to know. But you spend more time with these guys than your blood family, and they become your family. So we're very particular about what gets brought into that formula. On that, these guys will tell you, when you take those wings, no matter what the situation is, whether you're right or wrong in that situation, when you turn around, there's going to be a group of people standing behind you saying, I've got your back. So it's a family. It's a lot of these guys live in the shop with us, so we're not only doing the artist thing, but we're also roommates. So that's a whole different dynamic on running a business. But like I said, each person, no matter who you talk to in the crew, has their story about the journey they took to come to the Isabella. And when you go through that process, that 6-month process to get your wings as prospected by a full winged member, at the end of it, you get to go through me. I'm the last one to hand you your wings. As it stands right now, out of all the crew members, I've not had a single crew member not cry at the winging ceremony. No matter how tough they want to be, I will get tears. It's a personal mission because those wings do mean a lot. And for us, I want those wings to mean something to somebody, that they build this crew. They are the magic. Yeah, part of the ship, part of the crew, part of the ship, part of the crew. For me, I'm just the captain. I'm the figurehead out there talking a lot. These guys are the magic behind this and what goes on. They make me look good. So that's how you start the journey to become a member of ASI. The Isabella, her name, when I first found Steampunk, there's a band called Abney Park, and Robert and his guys, I kind of looked up to them. You know, they had a song. The first song that got my attention was Airship Pirates. And it touched me on, oh my God, somebody finally got it. That ideal of one being a pirate, but being the gentleman pirate, being, you know, that what we all want to be, and then putting that in the air. And he had a song called Sleep Isabella, which was for his daughter. His daughter's name is Isabella. And so being a dad and having a daughter, it hit a chord with me. And so when we were building the ship for Flipside, we were like, well, what are we going to call her? She has to have a name. And I was like, well, why don't we call her the Isabella? And that name was just, it was right. It felt right. And so the ship has been named after Captain Robert's daughter as an ode to Abney Park for opening up this world musically to us and having me fall in love with the steampunk community through that music. We just wrapped on Into the Badlands, which is AMC's new show. They'll be airing November 25th. That was a bonding experience. Even our away team guys who were in Austin, who couldn't be there with us, were giving moral support via the internet and phone calls. The artists were pulling 18, 20-hour days. I would be on set with our on-set crew, and then come home, be working on gear, go to bed about 3 o'clock in the morning, get up at 6, go back on set, and my guys, we would have this huge order to get done. So it really gave a chance to get to see the crew bonding to make this mission happen. And we have a sign up in our shop that says mission failure is not an option. These guys would stay up all night, and then you would see them stumble handing me the stuff so I could take it out to set as they were starting, ready to fall into bed to go get to sleep for a couple hours before I'd call them up and say, hey, I've got the next mission here, guys. We've got 40 of these to do. It was a chance to really see the crew come together. Like I said, our away team guys who aren't with us were hitting us on the internet. You got this, guys. We're proud of you. Keep it up. And to really get a chance to see behind that fourth wall, we just released our documentary where you get a chance to hear the crew talk. You get to hear Addie, you get to hear Tank and Zombie and Lulu and Amelia. It's a chance for the people out there to get to talk, to hear the crew side, but not just mine. Getting to hear from their point of view what it's like to live this adventure. So to tell the people out there that want to do this is never quit, never give up. Is it easy? No. Anything good is not easy. It's worth fighting for. Amelia has, and it sits up in our shop, it's a poem called If. And in that poem, it says, if you are willing to roll the dice one more time and gamble everything on that one roll, that one chance that it could happen, then you're ready. If you're willing to take those dice and roll it on everything you own, everything you hold dear, if you're willing to roll that one chance that this could work, and then if it doesn't, you're willing to wipe the blood off your nose and stand up and do it again, you're ready to do this. Because this isn't easy. It's brutal. You give up everything. You give up comfort. I live in a shop with 8 other people that, doesn't have central air and heat. You've got window units. It's, it's a communal living situation, but I wouldn't trade it for a minute. But you have to be willing. It's what are you willing, and I truly believe that the verse, if the verse is going to give you something grand, it's going to say, what are you willing to give up? That crossroad demon I talk about is there, and it's going, all right, what are you willing to trade to walk this path? But I'll tell you, and we're trying to do this without tears, that one kid who emails you on your trip home that says, I was thinking about committing suicide till I sat in your one-on-one panel. We have multiples of these emails because you showed me that people will accept me. That makes it worth it. That makes everything you do worth it. To be able to take artists who are amazing artists and watch them get to be able to make a living doing what they do, or that kid that walks up who wants to be an artist, who's still in college as an artist, and they don't know, they hear all the horror stories, stop that, you're going to get this degree and then you're not going to do anything with it. Why? How tenacious are you? How much are you willing to fight to get into that world? For us, it's the TV and movie industry. You don't just walk in. It's by who you know, and it's that one interaction with that one person to open that door. How far are you willing to fight? How far are you willing to go before you say no more? That's what it takes. And as artists, and if you watch the documentary, Addie says it beautifully, the term starving artist has been used way too much, and it's time for that to change. That artists are worth something, that their art is, be it film, be it print, be it three-dimensional leatherwork, whatever you are as an artist, it's time for those artists to stand up and go, no, my crap is worthy. This is me I'm pouring into this artwork, and you will take me seriously and not offer me chump change or take it for granted. It's time for that to change. And if that means I have to talk to one person at a time, or that one kid who wants to be a leather worker, or wants to get into film, and you put that hand out and say, come with me, that's worth walking through the gates of hell for every single time. And like I said, that's what these guys fight for. That's what I'll fight for. That's what we'll continue to fight for. What would I tell myself if I had a chance to go back? There's going to be bumps and bruises, and it's not going to be an easy walk. I would love to sit here and say, I would try and tell myself the pitfalls I'm going to walk into and to avoid them. But saying that, every one of those pitfalls is a learning experience. No matter how painful it is, no matter how deep it cuts you, it's a chance to take a step back and go, okay, what went right, what went wrong? How can I keep from stepping on that landmine again? But what did I learn from it to make me a better person, to make my crew a better crew, to do what we do better? So I don't think I would tell myself to change. And in our storyline, being time jumping, dimensional jumping airship crew, you get into that whole string theory, chaos theory thing, so that every interaction makes it go off in a different direction. So yeah, your own paradoxes. So I don't think I would want to tell myself, because what would that change in where I'm at now? And I wouldn't change anything. All the pain, all the tears, the joy, the victories and the defeats have made me who we are and made this crew what it is. And I don't think I'd change that for anything in the world, because this is what we're supposed to be. So the verses put us on that path. From where we started till now, that I've learned what the term intestinal fortitude means, and that nothing is impossible. You put those boundaries on yourself as a person or as a crew. To quote a hero of mine, we've done the impossible, and that makes us mighty. So you're making me do it. Don't ever tell me the odds. The only thing the odds do is put boundaries on you to stop. And I think that's one of the things that I've truly seen and I've truly learned. If you truly believe in what you do, there is no boundaries. And one of the things that we did when we started ASI is in this steampunk world, and this world we play in, I want to grab you and pull you into my world. I want you to be my, even if it's for just a few minutes, I want you to see the magic of what it is to be an airship pirate, and that this fantastical world exists. And at the end of that, when I let you go and you go back out in the world, if you go walking out of this convention, you stop for half a second, and there's that inclination that if you turn around, there's an airship moored to a mast there, I've done my job. I've shown you the magic of what if. And if you go and read that poem, If, I believe it's Kipling, I believe, read it, and that's basically that what he says in that poem is if, which means there's limitless possibilities. And it's up to you, if no matter how bad you get knocked down, if you're willing to stand up beaten, bloody, and bruised, you can accomplish magic. On the crew, I'm going to try and get through this without tears. I might be a huge Firefly fan in Serenity. If you can't walk, you crawl. If you can't crawl, you find somebody to carry you. And that's what I've got here. That, yeah, I've gotten knocked down to a point where is this worth it? Do I want to do this anymore? And a hand will come out from Addie, or a hand will come out from Lulu, grabbing me by my armor and saying, no, we're going to keep going. So, to me, that's the magic of working with artists that, like I said, nothing is impossible. And that one con kid who hides in the corner, who doesn't think they have a place where I don't belong anywhere. No, you do have a place to belong. There is a voice out here. You just have to fire up a flare so we can see you and we can find you. There is that hand in the dark. And I don't care what your fandom is. I don't care if you're into steampunk. I don't care if you're a Whovian. I don't care if you're into ponies. I don't care what it is. Geeks rule. And whatever that fandom is, we will find your people and go, here, we found one of your wayward kids. There you go. Then it's all worth it. We just happen to enjoy steampunk, but it's all the fandoms. I'm a huge Trekkie and I have a Mandalorian mark tattoo on my arm. I'm a big Star Wars geek. I'm a huge Harry Potter nerd. Slytherin House forever. So it's whatever that fandom is. It's being who you are. And that's the big deal. And don't change just because society says you have to be this or you have to be that to make a living and be successful. Who says? Because you're the powers that be? Yeah, come have a talk with me. We'll talk about the powers that be, because you have the power. She has the power. She has the power. She has to be who you are. If you want to walk around with 4-foot Liberty spikes that are, purple and blue, do it. If that's who you are, makes you happy, hoo-yah, do it. So yeah, sorry I get on a soapbox about that, but that's a big deal to me. Is just because you're weird is beautiful. Who wants to be normal? I don't want to look like the guys in the khaki pants and the pink shirt with the cardigan sweater around my neck. Ooh, go die in a hole. But that's their thing. If that makes them happy, more power to you. It's not me. It's not. This is magic. And that's one of the things I guess we've taken away from the Burning Man subculture is be who you are and be proud of it. And that's magic. First off, Into the Badlands will air on AMC November 15th following Walking Dead. We did all the leather that you will see in the TV show, as well as about 50% of the props. Episode 5, you might recognize some of the people in there as Wastelanders right before we get, obliterated. And it was an honor to be a part of that show. It was cool to get into the TV world with a big network and get to work on that. And the stars that we got to work with were really epically awesome. And then Aether, we did the Aether prologue. We filmed it in Alabama with Drew Hall and Horace Rubin, who are our directors. The list of Oscar winners that just came out to just volunteer their time on the field that day was amazing. I got to become real good friends with David L. Schneider, who was the artistic director for Blade Runner. Oh my God. And Kim Bailey, who was the designer for the Borg Cube and the Stargate. And he also was one of the designers and had a big part to play in Space Above and Beyond, which only went for one season. You have to be a really hardcore sci-fi geek to know Space Above and Beyond. But it got a chance to work with people that we consider idols and to get a chance to sit down and talk anime, because come to find out Kim Bailey is a huge anime geek, and get a chance to talk about anime with, and just to get to be humans. And this person that's got 30 years in the industry, I get to talk to them just like they're, and he basically became a dad to us, and he took a look, this is what you're about to walk into, this is what's going to happen, don't be surprised, So, but Aether is, what we did with Aether, the whole thing behind Aether was, instead of just doing art pieces and saying, this is the world we want to build, Drew and Horace came out and said, no, we're going to film it. We're going to put our money where our mouth is. We're going to get Class A equipment with Class A actors and background actors, and we're going to do this so we can go to the networks and say, this is the world. This is what you're looking at. This is what we want to bring to you. We were also honored as part of that is that if you go on YouTube and you look up the Aether stuff, you'll actually get to see the Airship Isabella crew actually pull off a job. It's very Ocean's 11. It's really cool. And we filmed that. When you watch that, and all your viewers out there want you guys to know, when you watch that, the scene where you see the actual ticket be exchanged and that whole passing was done in one shot. It wasn't edited together. That is one solid shot that these guys pulled off, and it is very Ocean's 11 as you hear us talking about pulling off this job of getting this ticket, which plays into the rest of the Aether world, but you get to see it from our point of view of being around the inside of being pirates, and we have ulterior motives of what the politics we want to play. So check that out on YouTube. The documentary's on YouTube, Steampunk: The American Dream, both 1 and 2. Where you get to hear and to listen to the crew talk. And then, like I said, this Into the Badlands will premiere on AMC November 15th after Walking Dead. And I'm really looking forward to watching that because I know the story. I can't give anything away, but it is a really cool story to watch and see. I think people are going to really enjoy it. So that's where we're at right now. Don't stop dreaming. Don't stop believing. Keep reaching for the stars. We'll see you guys out there on the horizon. And I wish everybody out there full holds and clear skies and fair sailing. And until then, Sky Captain Sir Cedric Whittaker, Captain of Airship Isabella. See you in the skies.